She wouldn't even go into a bathroom by herself anymore. None at all. And she was never like that. She was fearless. And she will sit on the floor and hold herself until somebody would come with her. That she's so traumatized from this.
For
So
me
Miss
and
Carver, Miss Carver, listen.
I did not realize that was happening. I didn't.
Being a mother, I know if my kid has a bad mosquito bite. I certainly would know if someone was beating the shit out of my kid. You're not talking anymore. I'm talking. I don't know if you'll ever see your kids again.
This evil mother was in court for beating her kids, and she came in full of lies and attitude like she didn't do a thing wrong here. I mean, she refuses to take any blame here, and she tries to twist the story, too. She pretty much just act like everybody is out to get her. This case here is just really disturbing. But what really sets it off is the way she carries herself. She has zero remorse, just deflection and ego. But the judge here is not having any of it. And by the end, she gets completely blindsided by the verdict. Let me know in the comments what you guys think this woman deserves for the horrible things she did to her kids. Let's go ahead and dive in here and watch this judge snap at an evil mother who thought she could lie her way out of this one.
Okay, very good. So what would you like to say to me?
I picked the kids up on the day all this happened, and the first thing was Mommy and Keys whooped Reese because they beat Reese, and that Reese says he has nightmares from this now, and he speaks as to Jasmine and Keys as they're monsters, and Isabel, his sister, the trauma from it onto her is. She couldn't even go into a bathroom by herself anymore. None at all. And she was never like that. She was fearless. And she will sit on the floor and hold herself until somebody will come with her. That she's so traumatized from this. And I just wanted to make that aware of that. These kids, this is what over onto them, they are afraid. They're terrified because of that. And I just want them to be okay, and I just, want to make sure that they're fine.
They're in counseling.
Yeah, they do need. Well, we're starting Isabel in counseling now, but yeah, they both need to be counseling. I think yes.
Have they gone to counseling before this?
No, they were great, loving kids before this.
No, I mean like during the process.
Oh, Isabel's been one time so far, as far as I know, and I don't have to ask Marty about it.
Okay.
But she has been. They're starting it, so she needs to be in counseling because we got to get past this. Because she won't, like I said, she won't go to the bathroom out by herself, and she would get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom by herself without a problem. And now she won't. She's terrified, and they're terrified they're going to run into her. She's terrified she's going to run into her at the store. And Reese, like I said, he's watching this cartoon about monsters, and he refers to her and Keys as the monsters in the TV show now. I had photos on my table of us at Chuck E. Cheese on her birthday, on Izzy's birthday, and she ripped them up and ripped her mom out. And I'm taking it to the counselor, and then drew all over with a black marker, like cut her right out of it. And I walked into the kitchen, and here these pictures are just tore up, and I was like, "Baby, what are you doing?" I don't want her in these pictures. She did not want them in. She didn't want her in them. She just tore them up. And I just think she's been really traumatized from this. And I think that Jasmine loves her children, but she doesn't know how to put her children first. She doesn't know how to sacrifice for her kids. You put your kids first, always, as a mother. And she's never done that. No. And I've known her since Isabel was born. So, I don't think she ever will be able to put her kids first.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for listening to me.
Of course. And could you start out by stating your full name?
It's Margaret Apple. I guess first and foremost, Wanda's referring to the incident with Reese happening in a bathroom. That is why Isabel is having issues with the bathroom. But from the very beginning, after this happened, Reese would have nightmares. He would holler out in the middle of the night or cry. He would holler out things like, "Quit, don't, stop, I don't want to, why?" or he would be crying in his sleep. And he occasionally, I mean, we try very hard to spell around him if we have to be speaking about anything referring to this, so that he's not picking up on anything. And he just comes right out and just says stuff. Something sparks his memory, something he sees on TV, something somebody says, and then he just interjects with, Mommy and Keys did this, or I didn't like it when Mommy did that, or I don't ever want to see Mommy and Keys again.
This is just so sad to hear. And not only is it sad, but this entitled woman is sitting here smirking while these two women are testifying like it's some kind of joke. They are pouring their hearts out about what their kid went through, and she's acting like they are making it all up. I mean, she hasn't even said a single word yet, but her face says everything. She literally has zero remorse, and it's just straight up mockery, I think. I mean, she's the one who gave up custody because she couldn't take care of her kids. And now she's sitting here like she's a victim. It just makes no sense at all. And in these kind of abuse cases, body language speaks way louder than words. I mean, judges notice when you treat the courtroom like a performance. So let's just see how that works out for.
I don't know how to, I guess, exactly describe what it's like for him on a daily basis. We move on, we do as much things as we can. We all spend as much time with him as we can, trying to get further and further and further away from the incident, that I'm hoping that he's not going to carry this for the rest of his life, but he speaks a lot about it. And when I initially saw the bruises, the first thing I said was, oh my goodness, Reese, what happened? How did you get all these bruises? He said point blank, I peed on the floor. He was in the middle of potty training. I peed on the floor and Mama and Keys whooped me with a belt and put me in a corner. And I was the one that reported it. I was told to get Tommy and get it medically documented and started all of this. And I'm really and truly hoping that these kids can get past this and that they don't have all these residual effects and these lasting effects of years and years and years of abuse. And I do believe, I'm just throwing this out, Isabel suffered longer because she was older. And even we're almost a year exactly at this, and Reese is still talking about it, still making reference to it. And I just say, well, you know what? Everything's okay now. This is how I move him out of the direction of him starting to, everything's fine now. You're safe now. Everything's good now. Just so that I'm hoping slowly but surely we can kind of work this out of his mind so he's not as traumatized. But he's still to this day, a year later, has nightmares and dreams and still talks about how he doesn't want to ever see them again and that they are monsters. And I am not one of those people. I do not discuss this. I do not prompt him. I do not ask him questions. I don't ask him how he feels about this incident. This is something that we just never discuss, and he is the one that brings it up.
But he has to talk about it. And that's why he should be in counseling. He should be doing talk therapy. He should be discussing it with professionals and working through it. He has to talk about it.
Yes, and Tommy has that paperwork.
Okay. Because if he doesn't.
But what I encourage, and that's what I was saying earlier, is that, well, everything's okay right now. you're safe right now. Yes, I do understand what you're saying. I appreciate that. Thank
He's
you.
not safe. Like, he's safe today, but I think in his mind, he doesn't think he'll be safe tomorrow. So I think, he's doing good about talking about it, but he needs to be in counseling. Both of them do.
I do understand that. Yes, thank you.
Anything you want to say on behalf of the people?
Yes, Your Honor. So just briefly, I think it's important to note that when this investigation happened and Detective Putnam was investigating it, Ms. Carver was not cooperative. She lied several times and was caught in those lies. She said she didn't have a belt at all in the home. They found a belt in the home. She said it wasn't her belt, it was a friend's belt who had stayed the night. They went and interviewed that friend. That friend said, no, I've never spent the night there. That's not my belt. That's not my size. Wasn't even her correct name, actually, or the place where she was employed. So there were a lot of lies that were told.
No matter how many times you roll your eyes and try to play the victim, the facts don't lie. It's basically a 3v1 at this point. And nobody likes an entitled liar who beats their kids. I mean, for crying out loud, the accusations that she hit her kids because he didn't pee in the toilet while potty training. I mean, that's not completely normal at that age. Let me know if you guys think that's normal or not, because I definitely do. I mean, every kid goes through that. And she's just sitting there stone-faced like the whole thing is beneath her. I just really hope the judge is watching her body language right now, because if she thinks attitude is going to cover up abuse, she is in for a huge awakening.
When I saw the photographs of the injuries on this little 3-year-old, it was startling. They were very distinct and clear belt marks. There were marks that indicated to me that the buckle of the belt had struck this little 3-year-old as well. When I asked his father, Tommy, and his guardians, Wanda and Marnie, to describe their reaction when they saw those, they cried as they told me about it. And they said their immediate reaction when they saw the marks was to cry. You're not supposed to see marks like that on a little boy's body, on a little child's body. And I guess I'm especially disheartened this morning as I look at Ms. Carver on Zoom. And I don't think that you had the benefit of seeing this because you were focusing on Marnie and Wanda as they spoke, but Ms. Carver rolled her eyes and shook her head as they spoke. And I didn't see one bit of remorse from her. And I hope that she has remorse for the injuries that were inflicted on her young child, but she didn't demonstrate that this morning as Wanda and Marnie were speaking. And I think that that's really disheartening. So I would just ask you to take all of that into consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Wagner.
I'm sorry, I cut out there first.
The first,
I had very
one
bad
moment.
signal.
One moment, I'll address. Ms. Carver does not minimize in any way the damage done to her children. Ms. Carver understands that. Ms. Carver has lost custody of her children. Ms. Carver is not even allowed any parenting time with her children. Your Honor, Ms. Carver makes no excuses, Your Honor, for her conduct. Ms. Carver told me this morning that she has been getting daily texts from anonymous people threatening her and saying really repugnant things to her. And that's, I think, why she is upset this morning. We would ask that the court sentence Ms. Carver to probation with the provisions that the court feels comfortable.
Ms. Carver, anything you'd like to say on your own behalf?
Yes. I need this to be reminded. When I had my daughter, being my circumstances, I understood that I couldn't care for her. And I gave her to Wanda. I put my trust in Wanda for my daughter. I didn't get any kind of full custody of my daughter until about a month, 2 months after I had asked them if I could put her on my taxes because they had been filing taxes for her. It was a problem. They stole her social security card and went ahead and did it anyways. I was trying to get Section 8 housing for
So
me
Miss
and my
Carver, Miss Carver, listen. I want to hear what you have to say about the fact your children were beaten. So why don't we talk about that?
I just have to say I gained so much respect for this judge just for that one simple line she dropped to stop this idiot from embarrassing herself any further. Like, just imagine being on trial for physically abusing your own kid, and the first thing you want the court to understand is that the woman who took care of your child wouldn't let you claim him on your taxes. That's your priority. Not clearing your name, not showing an ounce of remorse, just trying to score pity points over dependent deduction for a kid you allegedly hit. Just what a foul, disgusting mindset. And then this woman has the nerve to act smug about it, like she's exposing some grand injustice. I mean, all she's doing here is just reminding the court exactly why she's the one sitting in that chair.
I never, and I really say this with all my heart, and I feel like with what we've been through, I would never put my hands on my children. I realized that somebody else was, and I got away from them. I take blame for not noticing that that was happening, and I apologize for that. I do. I apologize. I did not realize that was happening. I didn't. I love my children. That will never change. And I have completely removed myself from all of that. I'm going to church. I'm going to parenting classes. I'm going to therapy. I'm doing everything that I can. And I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying to be there for my kids. But I get woken up every morning telling me that I'm a horrible person, and that's why my mom died and my dad doesn't love me, and I should just go. And it's like, I'm trying everything I can. And I realize I made mistakes. And I put myself and my children around people who they shouldn't have been around. And I regret that. I will always regret that. But I'm doing everything that I can to fix the problem that I can be allowed. You know what I mean? I'm doing everything I can.
Anything else?
I will do whatever I can for my children. I will do whatever I can. And even if that means I have to do it from a distance right now. I understand the predicament. But at the same time, these people, I mean, it doesn't even matter because, I mean, I have people who could stand up and literally attest to say that these people are lying. But I just felt like no matter what, I'm not going to be heard.
So Ms. Carver, what I heard was a lot of deflection of blame. Being a mother, I know if my kid has a bad mosquito bite. I certainly would know if someone was beating the shit out of my kid. And you let them. You're not talking anymore. I'm talking. So, you know, unfortunately, this happened. And now your kids are going to pay for this for the rest of their lives. The rest of their lives, because in their eyes, you are a monster now. So I'm glad that you're making progress. I'm glad that you're doing things through CPS. But, you know, these children will take years to recover from this. And that's why they need to be in counseling. They can't forget about it. They have to deal with it. So they need to be in counseling so they don't marry a man who beats the crap out of them or, you know, beat the crap out of their girlfriend. You know, they have to change that. And unfortunately, you did not protect them. And that's why we're here today. So it's sentence of the court that you'll be placed on probation for a period of 12 months under 769.4A. During that term of probation, you will pay $750 in court costs, $450 court-appointed attorney fee, $100 fine, $50 in state costs, $75 crime victim rights fee, $30 per month supervision fee. During your term of probation, you're not to use any illegal controlled substances, any alcohol. So you understand, Ms. Carver, you're not to have any contact with either biological father or either of the women who were here speaking today, Ms. Apple and Ms. Short. Do you understand that?
Yes. Will I be able to see my kids ever again?
No, you lost custody. You lost your parental rights over them. Your rights were terminated, correct, Ms. Carver?
I thought my custody was terminated. I thought I still had rights.
I don't know. I don't have that file, but I don't know if you'll ever see your kids again. You know, maybe when they're adults, if they want to see you, but that would be them when they're an adult.
That was seriously a harsh line from the judge there. And honestly, I respect her so much for saying it straight to this woman's face. When you're dealing with somebody accused of abusing their own kid, there's no room for polite courtroom fluff. There's just the truth. And from the way this case played out, I'd be shocked if her kids ever wanted anything to do with her ever again. At least not until they're much older. And even then, that's pretty much a stretch. But yeah, guys, do you think probation was enough of a punishment here? Or should she have actually done some time in jail? To me, it felt like a slap on the wrist considering the damage done here. But maybe that's just how the system tries to balance grace and accountability, usually while dropping the ball on both. What do you think this says about how we handle child abuse cases in court? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe if you want more breakdowns just like this. Guys, I appreciate you guys watching and take.